Hi there, these comments are for Gigi, and this is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com. And I'm getting ready to read, evaluate, and score your independent writing practice test that you sent me. And I got to tell you, we had our Zoom meeting yesterday, or we had our scheduled Zoom meeting yesterday. I forgot all about it. I really apologize for that. I was not able to give you your TOEFL private lesson with writing. So I'm doing it at YouTube and I'm doing it for free. So please forgive me for missing our meeting. I wish I could give you a good excuse. I took a nap. And I just took a nap. I slept through the whole hour. I'm not going to lie to you. I should not have done that. But anyway, I'm going to get started right now. So let's take a look at your essay. So I'm thinking with this evaluation, first of all, I want to read through the entire essay first. Number two, I'm going to give you a score, and I will go over to the actual independent writing rubrics and explain the score to you. And then number three, I'm going to make any necessary corrections, restructuring, whatever I think needs to be made to improve your writing. And I'll try to give you the rules behind what I'm doing so you can understand. Okay, so the topic here is, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Businesses should do anything they can to make a profit. Use specific reasons and examples to support your position. That's the question, right? You say, and let's take a look at it. I'm not going to make any corrections yet. The global economy is powerful because the value of the current coin is what makes possible for investors to run their business and what entrepreneurs can contribute back to society by providing charged or not services for the population. Therefore, I do agree that businesses must seek any opportunities that can help them to make a profit for their businesses. In addition, if a company makes profits, the business's owner can be motivated and capable of succeeding and expanding their businesses. Also, with a business profits, a executive have the opportunity to donate money to charities. Consequently, they will be helping the vulnerable population in need with their immense deeds. So your first body paragraph is 247 words. Wow. Man. Woo. In the first place, a business's owner that are making profits will have the autonomy to successfully run their businesses, and entrepreneurs will feel motivated because the money earned will enable them to invest furthermore. For example, back in 2018, my two brothers decided to open up a transportation company called Lamarco. This dream started when my daddy and my two brothers owned a total of 3 trucks. Meanwhile, the transport company launched, and the trucks were contracted by another transporting company that also owned a paper-making industry. The distribution of the loads was from a distance between 2 states. As a result of being contracted by a maker paper company to transport their materials and equipments, they were limited to make huge profits. And also the amount of money charged for deliveries could not be set up by them, so unfortunately this company had to be shut down. Eventually, last year, my brother Marcos decided again to launch a new transport business. However, now his business took a different path because of the learned lessons from the previous one. For instance, now his company is totally run online, and he can have unlimited contractors hiring his service and coming from any state within Brazil. One thing he did ensure at his new business was himself determining how much the charge will be for delivery. So Marcos, my brother, is able to keep the business running with the opportunity to succeed as the years go by. Your next paragraph is 198 words. In the second place, company owners should be empowered to make profits because with a business profits, an executive have the opportunity to donate money to charities while helping their companies to have tax deductions and using their wealth to impact a meaningful cause. For example, the donation of $100 million, a pledge made by Domino's Pizza in 2020, was to raise this money in the next 10 years to help the cancer hospital to achieve their vision. In addition, this contribution is the largest corporate commitment in the history of St. Jude Research Children's Hospital, inasmuch as this pizza business is committed to go above and beyond to generate profits to be capable of keeping their promise. Furthermore, this company not only partnered with St. Jude's Hospital, but also continued partnering with environment and sustainability organizations to make the world a better place to live. So with all this money being given to charities, the Domino's Pizza are becoming well known by their good deeds. Consequently, they are attracting more customers that not only eating a flavorful pizza, but also spending their money in a place in which is making an impact to help children in need of health care. All things considered, profit should be one of the top priorities in a business because the capital's business will financially comfortably run it and the entrepreneurs will be able to help and to make donations to charities. All right, so that's it. So I wanted to read the whole thing without making any corrections at all, and I can kind of hear your grammar and your vocabulary. So the next step is let's go over here. So I'm thinking probably my impression right now is maybe a low 4 or high 3. I'm thinking it's definitely, I mean, when it comes to organization, it's a 5. Really, it's well developed and well organized. There's no doubt about that. But then 3 says you have some inconsistent facility and sentence formation and word choice that may result in lack of clarity and occasionally obscure meaning. So I think some of these issues here are probably going to bring the essay down a bit. I think that's going to create some problems. So I'm going to put your score between 3.5 and 3.7, so between 22 and 24 points out of 30 on this practice test. Let's have Microsoft Word take a look at what you wrote right now. I want to take a look at your vocabulary level and then your sentence structure and grammar level here. What is your overall grade level for this writing? That's what I want to try to find out right now. So let's do a quick review here. See what I did here? So I'm looking at Microsoft Word here. I'm going to go to document stats here. Very strong, my goodness. Characters per word is 4.9. 5 is considered very, very good vocabulary. 29.6 is your average sentence length. That's also strong. I encourage you to keep it probably right around 25 or 26. Excuse me. So the grade level here is about 15.3, and that fits your specific situation because you are a pharmacist. You're not just somebody coming out of college or anything. You got advanced education, and you're kind of showcasing your vocabulary and your grammar with that, the grade level. Okay, let's get started with the first paragraph. So let's go ahead and begin with the correction. The global economy is powerful because the value of the current coin is what makes it's what makes I'm going to put is what makes possible for investors. And don't worry about the spelling issues. I don't think they're going to count off for that. To run their business. I'm going to put investors to run their businesses. And I think here, and because you're kind of stating 2 reasons here. So I think it works better to say because here. So because the value is what makes possible for investors to run their businesses, and because entrepreneurs can contribute back to society by providing charged. I'm going to say charged, or you ever heard of this term, pro bono? Pro bono services for the population. And I'm not exactly sure if I'm hyphenating that correctly here. Let me check on the internet for a minute here, make sure I'm doing this right. I don't want to mislead you. Pro. Let's see, how do they write it here? No, they have it as two words, not hyphened. Okay, I'm looking at a few here. It looks like it's two words, no hyphen. It's a good thing I checked that, right? And I'm using this to just give you some vocabulary by providing charged or pro bono services for the population. Therefore, I do agree that businesses must seek any opportunities that can help them to make a profit for their businesses. In addition, if a company makes profits, the businesses I think if you want to make it a singular possessive noun here, let's go back to what it is originally, business, right? Yeah, I would do it like that. So the business's owner can be motivated and capable of succeeding and expanding their businesses. Yeah, but then you said their business. Okay, so I think this needs to be changed to companies. Sometimes I have to look at the whole thing. If companies make profits, so let's go back to what you said, the businesses. Exactly, there you go. So if companies make profits, the business's owner can be motivated and capable of succeeding and expanding their businesses. So sometimes when we look at these kinds of things here, GJ, like what we do here affects this word, this word, this word, and we should actually make owner plural. Wow, so that one choice affects one, two, three, four different words, five, and then six. Six words in that sentence, my goodness. So if companies make profits, the business's owners can be motivated and capable of succeeding and expanding their businesses. Also, with a business, I think we have to go back to businesses, profits. I'm going to get rid of this and make this plural. Executives have the opportunity to donate money to charities. What if we do this and maybe make this a little more concise here? So we could combine those, and then we have also with a business's profits, executives have the opportunity to donate money to charities and consequently help the vulnerable population in need with their immense deeds. Okay, so you talked about the motivation issue, which is this idea here. So let me double check a couple of things here. So you mentioned the idea owners can be motivated, right? And then you talk about the motivation they can feel there. So there is a connection between one of your key points in the thesis with the key point in the topic sentence in that second paragraph. So that looks pretty good. You have the other one is they can donate to charities. Let's see if you mentioned that. They have the opportunity to donate money to charities while helping their companies have a tax deduction using the wealth to. Okay, good, perfect. So overall, just double checking, there's a good connection between the key points in the thesis along with the key points in each of the body paragraphs. Okay, let's look at the next paragraph. So I made some changes here. Okay, let's take a look at the second paragraph here. In the first place, so we got to make up what you're doing here. So you got a, and then you have, now this is a plural possessive noun here along with a singular. So we're not very consistent here. Let's get rid of this and say, in the first place, businesses owners that are making profits will have the autonomy to successfully run their businesses. And you can put and these. I think you can put these to tie back to these people running their own businesses. So you have that kind of cohesion going on. This, that, these, and those are actually very effective words in tying information together, either within the same sentence, in this case in a compound sentence, or also from one sentence to the next, or even one paragraph to the next. So in the first place, businesses owners that are making profits will have the autonomy to successfully run their businesses. And these entrepreneurs will feel motivated because the money earned will enable them to invest more into their maybe company. For example, back in 2018, I'm just going to say in 2018, let's do that. In 2018, my two brothers decided to open up a transportation company called Lamarco. I like your concrete details. Absolutely love them. This dream started, and I don't think that you need a comma before this adverb clause. Typically, when you have an adverb clause or a dependent clause at the end of the sentence, typically the comma is not needed. Now, if I said, when my daddy and my two brothers owned a total of 3 trucks, comma, this dream started, then you might set it apart. So introductory clauses, introductory phrases typically are set apart with a comma. So this dream started when my daddy and my two brothers owned a total of 3 trucks. I'm going to recommend that you spell out numbers under 100. Spell them out. Meanwhile, the transport company launched and the trucks were contracted by another transporting company that also owned a paper maker. A paper maker, I'm going to say business, I think is better than industry. I think industry is kind of like a collective noun referring to a whole bunch of different companies. So I think that business works better. So that also owned a paper maker business. The distribution of the loads I'm going to put covered a distance between 2 states, you might say of a few hundred kilometers maybe, or something. Be a little more specific. As a result of being contracted by a, because you've already mentioned it here, notice how the first time you mentioned it, you said a paper maker business, but now we're referring back to that same business. I think the definite article. So the paper, you want to elevate manufacturing firm. How about that? If you want to make it a little more formal. So the paper manufacturing firm, as a result of being contracted by the paper manufacturing firm to transport the materials and equipment. I look at equipment as a collective noun that does not need the S. They were limited. I'm going to put limited from making. I think works a little bit better here. They were limited or constrained from making huge profits. And also the amount of money charged for deliveries could not be set up by them, so unfortunately the company had to be shut down. That's terrible. Not good. Eventually last year my brother Marcos decided again to launch a new transport business. However, nice use of the semicolon to separate those independent clauses. That's very good. Now his business, and that adds some syntactic variety to your writing to do that, by the way. I haven't seen many semicolons so far in your writing. Don't overuse them, but you can put a couple of them in an essay. However, now his business took a different path because of the learned lessons from a previous one. For instance, now his company is totally run online, and he can have unlimited contractors hiring his service and coming from any state within Brazil. One thing I'm going to put one thing that he did, right? One thing that he did, and let's change this to ensure. One thing that he did to ensure that he could, how about maximize the profits in his new business, maybe. I'm going to say to maximize the profits, to unlimited, to do anything. One thing he did to ensure he could maximize the profits in his new business was, how about was for himself to determine how much the charge, you want to say would be because you're talking about something in the past here, would be for delivery. So Marcos, my brother, is able to keep the business running with the opportunity to succeed as the years go by. I'm going to say right there, right? So those would be the changes I'm going to make to that paragraph. So I think that covers this, right? And anybody watching at YouTube, this is the type of development of detail that really gets the attention, I think, of IBT human raters. It shows that in this case, Gigi, you're doing a great job at bringing up an example. You talked about the transportation company, right? This is what I like about it. So we start here. I mean, how many words do we have here? My goodness. No, we got 225 words just with the example of your family's business and what they did there and how they were able to maximize and make unlimited profits because of how they ran the business or how they made a change when they started this second business that was better than the other. Okay, let's get to your third paragraph. This is the final body paragraph. Then we have the conclusion. Let's see how you did. In the second place, is this parallel to in the first place? Indeed it is. Good job on that. In the second place, company owners should be empowered to make profits because with a business, I'm going to put with, let's go back to businesses. With businesses profits, and then we can make this plural executives. Notice how you said have. So with businesses profits, executives have the opportunity to donate money to charities while helping their companies to have tax deductions, and while using their wealth to impact a meaningful cause. Good parallelism. So I'm thinking that you omitted this second one. I'm going to put it in there just to see it. I think that's exactly what you did here, while helping their companies and while using their wealth. That's excellent parallelism there. And I think you can donate, you can you can delete while the second time because it's the same word and we know what you're doing there. Okay, let's look at the next part, meaningful cause. For example, the donation of 100 million, a pledge made by Domino's Pizza in 2020. So the donation of 100 million, a pledge made by Domino's Pizza in 2020, over the next, I'm going to put 10 years, and I'm going to put here is helping. I think this is going to work here. Let's look at it one more time here. For example, the donation of 100 million, a pledge made by Domino's Pizza in 2020 over the next 10 years, is helping the cancer, is helping. I'm going to put a cancer hospital because you didn't tell us which one it was yet, and I'm not going to capitalize this either, to achieve its vision. In addition, this contribution is the largest corporate commitment in the history of St. Jude's Research Children's Hospital, Children's maybe cancer hospital, inasmuch as this pizza business is committed to go above and beyond to generate profits, to be capable of keeping their promise. Okay. Furthermore, this company not only partnered with St. Jude's Hospital, but also continued partnering with environmental, I'm going to make this an adjective here, sustainability, sustainable. I'm not even sure about this one. You always have something in there I'm not sure about. But I guess environment is a noun. I want to say environmental and sustainable organizations, but I think it's better to use the nouns in these cases to modify organization. If anybody wants to enlighten us on why either environmental or sustainable is better, put them in the comments below this video. So I'm going to put with environment and sustainability organizations to make the world a better place to live. So with all this money being given to charities, the Domino's this is interesting. I'm going to put Domino's. It's singular though, right? Domino's. I guess it's like that. I'm just going to say the Domino's Pizza establishment. Let's make this is becoming well known by their good deeds. And that ties back to what you've already said earlier, right? Consequently, they're attracting more customers. I got it. You forgot one thing here. There was something wrong about this. I figured it out. Here. So customers that are not only eating a flavorful pizza, but also spending their money in a place, I'm going to put a place which is making an impact to help children in need of health care or cancer treatment. We could probably say that. So this was the only problem. Your parallelism is good, not only eating but also spending, but you did need to have this verb here because you're using what's called the present progressive verb tense. So you have the be verb plus the present participle ing. They are eating and they are spending their money in a place which is making an impact to help children in need of cancer treatment, right? All things considered, profit should be one of the top priorities in a business because the capital's business will financially comfortably run it, and the entrepreneurs will be able to help and to make donations to charities. Good. So you have that. Okay, let's look at it one more time. I'm going to just go through it. I'm going to use Microsoft Word here now to make some slight grammar corrections. I may make nothing more, but let's take a look at it one more time. Here we go. Okay, so we have spelling problems. It says 1. Lamarco, that's fine. Not going to worry about that. We'll put ignore. Okay, what else do we need to look at? The two states. Maybe I better read it one more time. Give me a second. Okay, let's look at it one more time, then I think we'll be done. The global economy is powerful because the value of the current coin is what makes possible for investors to run their businesses, and because entrepreneurs can contribute back to society by providing charged or pro bono services for the population. Therefore, I do agree that businesses must seek any opportunities that can help them to make a profit for their businesses. In addition, if companies make profits, the business's owners can be motivated and capable of succeeding and expanding their businesses. Also, with a business's profits, executives have the opportunity to donate money to charities and consequently help the vulnerable population in need with their immense deeds. And I'm going to change this to, I'm going to say due to. So we show that cause-effect relationship a little bit better. In the first place, businesses owners that are making profits will have the autonomy to successfully run their businesses, and these entrepreneurs will feel motivated because the money earned will enable them to invest more into their company. For example, in 2018, my two brothers decided to open up a transportation company called Lamarco. This dream started when my daddy and my two brothers owned a total of 3 trucks. Meanwhile, the transport company launched and their trucks were contracted by another transporting company that also owned a papermaker business. The distribution of the loads covered a distance between two states of a few hundred kilometers. As a result of being contracted by the paper manufacturing firm to transport their materials and equipment, they were limited from making huge profits. And also, the amount of money charged for deliveries could not be set up by them. So, unfortunately, this company had to be shut down. Eventually, last year, my brother Marcos decided again to launch a new transport business. However, now his business took a different path because of the learned lessons from his previous one. For instance, now his company is totally run online and he can have unlimited contractors hiring his service and coming from any state within Brazil. One thing that he did to ensure, I need to change this. One thing he did to ensure that he could maximize the profits in his new business was for himself to determine how much the charge would be for delivery. So Marcos, my brother, is able to keep the business running with the opportunity to succeed as the years go by. To succeed, maybe. Well, I was going to say financially, but succeed implies that. Okay. In the second place, company owners should be empowered to make profits because with a business's profits, executives have the opportunity to donate money to charities while helping their companies to have tax deductions and while using their wealth to impact a meaningful cause. I love how you set these ideas up. You spent all of this time right here, right, to lead to your example. You provided the context. And that is very effective in how you did that. For example, the donation of $100 million, a pledge made by Domino's Pizza in 2020 over the next 10 years, is helping a cancer hospital to achieve its vision. These pronoun agreement things will kill you, won't they? But I'm going to say it's because it goes back to the hospital. Notice it's a hospital and then it's the hospital's vision. So in addition, this contribution is the largest corporate commitment in the history of St. Jude Research Children's Cancer Hospital, inasmuch as this pizza business is committed to go above and beyond to generate profits to be capable of keeping its promise. Furthermore, this company not only partnered with St. Jude's Hospital, but also continued partnering with environment and sustainability organizations to make the world a better place to live. So with all this money being given to charities, the Domino's Pizza establishment is becoming well known by their good deeds. Consequently, they're attracting more customers that are not only eating a flavorful pizza, but also spending their money in a place which is making an impact to help children in need of cancer treatment. All things considered, profit should be one of the top priorities in a business because the capital's business will financially comfortably run it and the entrepreneurs will be able to help and to make donations to charities. Wow. We got it. I think that's it. Let me go back here. This has got to be 24 points here. I know that you have some problems with your language use and so on. So let's look at what it says in the for area here for a minute. It says here, demonstrating syntactic variety and range of vocabulary. We already said that your vocabulary, your characters per word is 4.9. That's strong. That's good. Your average sentence length is 29. What's the problem with that? Nothing. So you're showing you have good syntactic variety. It says, though it will probably have occasional noticeable minor errors in structure, word form, or use of idiomatic language that do not interfere with meaning. Interesting enough. All right. I'm going to go here. I'm going to say you're probably maybe between 24 to 25 points on this. I'm going to go beyond. I'm going to say probably around 24 to 25 points on this. Anybody at YouTube who is crazy enough to watch this video here, if you're still watching this right now, what do you think? How would you score it? Right? Would you give it 22, 23, 24, 25? I think from the development and the organizational standpoint, GG, it's a 30. It's 30 out of 30. There's no doubt in my mind. You have a nice thesis. You have clearly marked topic sentences. I mean, you got everything. You know, academically, when I talk about academic writing, that's exactly what this is right here. So I like how you organize and you have these nice strong paragraphs. The only problem, to be realistic here, you're not going to have enough time to get 220 something words in a paragraph. You probably have enough time in 30 minutes to get 150. So maybe the first paragraph is 100. Then you have 150 words for the first body paragraph. For the second body paragraph, another 150. Then maybe 25 to 50 for the conclusion, and there you go right there, right? So I'm going to conclude the video by saying 24 to 25 points on it. What you want to be careful about in this one, you saw me make a lot of changes with your nouns, right? Or your what's called possessive adjectives, like pronoun agreement issues and things. So you need to think a little bit more about your nouns. If a noun is singular or if it's plural, it has a big effect on what happens in the rest of that sentence and in that paragraph. So it's something I want you to think about a little bit more. And then I think the difference between the singular and the plural possessive nouns, I think that's something that you want to look at a little bit more. So if you go to Google, just put punctuation patterns with singular and plural possessive nouns, right? So you can look at where you put the apostrophe when it's a singular possessive noun, and where do you put the apostrophe when it's a plural possessive noun, right? Those are some suggestions there, some things you can look at. All right. Anyway, thank you very much for doing this writing practice test. Again, I apologize for missing our meeting yesterday, our Zoom meeting, but to make up for that, I just corrected your essay in this video to make up for that meeting, and you do not need to pay me for that meeting. Well, because I missed it, but you don't have to pay me for this lesson here. This is free on the house. All right. Thank you, Gigi. Keep up the great work. You're so strong. You're independent. You're moving forward in your life. I mean, so many good things are happening with you. That is it. So keep the great work. You're doing everything about you right now is very, very positive. Keep it up.